You need real headphones, by the way.
I like these.
No, those aren't real headphones. Come on. You're a professional.
I like to be.
You're a professional.
Hey.
Coming down 3, 2, 1. Volume11music.com. It's the BigMex and Jamie show. BigMex, that's me.
And I'm Jamie.
That's Jamie with that goofy looking headphone. Dude.
My name is Jamie. Can I help you today?
You are a professional. You are considered now a professional broadcaster. You're considering you have no background in broadcasting whatsoever. You're pretty good at what you do, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You need to look like a professional, bro.
So I got to have the big old cans on my head.
Not big old headphones, but you need some nice double-sided headphones.
I do have those.
Not like a phone headphone. Come on, bro.
No, I'm your customer service rep. Is what I am right now.
I
will. But I didn't know I was a professional broadcaster until now.
You are.
But I didn't know. Okay. So if I would have known, I would have had the nice headphones.
I highly doubt that.
I have them at home.
You're not, dude.
Everybody's seen them.
You're not. Up
Everybody has seen them.
You are not up on your.
I wear them everywhere, like the guy in Lincoln Park.
So how you been?
Pretty good. How you been?
You gonna get the bedazzled ones like the guy in Lincoln Park?
Oh, don't think that mine already are.
Yeah, you speak. Yeah, you can't even speak right now.
I'm gonna write that down and say it again later.
Yeah. So what's going on?
Not a whole lot. Just been busy with the actual website.
Yeah, that's right. Real quick, where are we? We're at a different location today.
We are. I wasn't sure if we can let that go.
No, we have.
We're at the Foothills location of PT's.
Now, when you say Foothills, because you mentioned Foothills to me before, and I thought Foothills out in Henderson Foothills.
Well, I was hoping we could send you out there, and then you'd be like, I can't find this place.
You can't say Foothills because you gotta remember that sometimes the listeners are, not our listeners, but other listeners.
They're like you.
They're like me. Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
I gotcha.
So you got to be more specific. Like we're on the corner of Fort Apache and Trop, the southwest corner of Fort Apache and Trop, facing Tropicana.
Indeed.
So,
almost kind of a kitty corner from In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah,
if
there you
go. Know that area, which most of us do.
Yeah.
Too bad, obviously. This is a great place. It's a really nice place. It's fairly new, and really, really, really good people work here, and great prices. They have their happy hour every single day from 5 to 7, and they even have a happy hour for their breakfast, which is insanely good.
Yeah. Shouldn't you be at work?
Should I be at work right now?
Don't you have... No, I'm talking about during the breakfast time. So how do you know it's good if you should be at work? Oh,
Sundays. That's
Sundays.
My one morning that I can, do stuff.
That is right, because I remember you used to go to the bookstore and then...
I still do.
I mean, but before...
Yes, I have a thing that I do, and I've done it for many years.
Yeah.
But so this is just something different. This is actually closer to my house if we want to talk about it.
What are those things over there?
Those are called sloppy tots.
Sloppy tots.
Sloppy tots.
That reminds me of, never mind, I won't talk about it.
Yeah, you probably don't want to talk about that on the air.
Yeah, no.
I think it's still illegal, isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, statute of limitations?
No,
okay.
there is no statute of limitations.
No, they here at PT's they have $5 appetizers during their happy hour, and I mean you're looking at a giant plate of tater tots with a bunch of stuff on them that makes them sloppy.
And that makes your it's
my arteries sloppy. Yeah. My arteries are sloppy.
Which means it's good.
Oh yeah, it's really good. I'm staring at them now, and I'm kind of crying a little bit.
Yeah.
And we have some great big beers in front of us too.
Awesome.
Anyways, so talking about the week that we've had.
Yep.
I mean, it's the first week of June, so it's starting to heat up here. We have a running commentary. It seems almost every episode since we started this, we talked about kind of where Scott Weiland's at.
Yeah.
And this week we had the release of Art of Anarchy. And Scott, you might be listening to this now. I just want to let you know you sang on that album. And
in case you don't remember,
apparently you have no recollection of the fact that you sang on this album. I've heard it. It's the first time I've heard Scott on a recording where he sounds weak.
Wow.
And that's too bad.
Yeah, that is too bad. And it brings to my mind why the rest of the band, everybody there is professional. They're great musicians, Bumblefoot especially, and the bass player from Disturbed.
I forgot he's in that band.
They're on multiple platinum albums. They're musicians. As a musician, why don't they say, this is horrible?
I think they got bamboozled.
You think so? By who? But this was their project.
Their people. I think their people put it together. It's one of those studio creations. It definitely was. I don't think it was ever meant to be this giant new band like Velvet Revolver was. But
I think that's what they wanted.
I think they wanted that. But I think all the people behind the scenes were like, let's just get this together and get some money to exchange hands. and then you had a subpar album. There's like maybe one or two somewhat good songs, but you hear Scott sing and you go back and you think of an album, like Purple or, some of these albums or Number 4. And even at Number 4, when he came out of jail, he was on fire. It's
I
like
loved Number 4.
Yeah, it was like the Ross that they were, and this is I think this is honestly trying to get as close to Number 4 as they can. It doesn't work.
How does the band sound though?
They're good. Of course they sound good. It's Bumblefoot's guitar.
Who do you think could be the vocalist for that band?
God, for Art of Anarchy.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you want to hear my opinion, I think one of the best.
I just asked you your opinion.
I'm going to give you a little silence before my opinion. One of the unsung heroes of modern rock is Lucas Rossi. I think he's one of the coolest vocalists.
You know what? I haven't heard one thing on him since he was on that TV show.
He is born again. He is very much involved in music, and he actually has a band. We've talked about this. You're forgetting. We have a connection
with Dave Buckner from
That's right.
Papa Roach.
That's
and,
right.
Who else is in that band? I forgot.
There's somebody actually pretty significant, and I can't think of who it is. Well, anyways, they're doing something, and the name escapes me, but we'll find out. He is still busy, and he is just a rock star.
Is he still married to the porn star?
I don't know. That part I don't know. He's on my Facebook.
Are you Facebook friends?
Oh, we do. I poke him every now and then.
So jealous.
Yeah, every now and then, just a quick poke. I'm like, "What's up, Lucas?" Anyways, yeah. I mean, we actually meant to get some of their music on here, so that reminds me. I'll write that down in my notes right now.
Uh-huh.
And you're obviously writing something right now.
No, I'm looking. I'm going to find out what the name of that band is.
Oh, spot research.
I'm working. That's what we got phones for.
I love it.
What the fuck?
I love
dude?
it. So that means I have to fill up the space.
No, you keep talking. I'm listening.
That means fill up the space.
You sound just like my wife. I'm looking at my phone. She goes, "I'll just stop talking." I said, "No, I'm fucking listening to you. Come on."
I was wondering why you're playing footsies with me under the table. So when you said I sound like your wife. Anyways, let's change the subject for a second. Ghost. If anyone's familiar with Ghost,
love them.
Ghost is weird. You've seen their name as Ghost BC, and now you're seeing their name as Ghost again. I think they finally got to the point where they don't need to use BC in their name.
Exactly. What they did is they changed it on their Facebook. Mm-hmm. It was Ghost BC on their Facebook. Now it's Ghost the Band. So it's Facebook.com/Ghost the Band. And so they're back to Ghost. And they never really left Ghost, but just for whatever.
So their Facebook status is it's complicated.
Yeah, it's complicated.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Anyways, they came out with a new song. I think it's pronounced Cerise, and it is probably my favorite era of Ghost right now because I've always liked Ghost. I love their visual presentation. I saw the first version with Papa 1, and it was a little bit more amateur at that time, rubber mask and all that.
Yeah.
And now you have Papa 3, and you have a much more modern rock sound, and I think it just fits. Everything is perfect there. It's not so much of a throwback sound to more of a Blue Oyster Cult and that type of stuff.
Yeah, they. I really dug it. That's the first thing that I thought about was the sound, and.
Yeah, I mean it's just the sound. They've changed their sound ever so subtly through each release that they do. And sometimes when they put out a full album of a certain sound, it doesn't really fill the whole album. I think they're onto something with this sound. And you actually had a really interesting theory because we talk about they've changed the singer, which is Papa Emeritus, I think is
Emeritus the third, yeah.
Right. So every album they've changed the singer. We don't know who the singer is. We don't know. Hell, it could be the same guy. We don't know. But you have a great theory. What is that theory?
I think because when I heard the song, I was like, oh, let me see what the new guy sounds like. Me being a fan or whatever, and kind of playing into the role of like, ooh, they really changed the singer. I think that each band member is the singer. Like so, the next record cycle, like the drummer,
it's musical chairs.
Yeah, the drummer now becomes Papa Emeritus III, and then they just kind of switch around. I think they're all musicians.
Oh yeah, I think you're onto something when you said that just minutes before we started this episode. Which was also episode 13, by the way.
Lucky number 13.
Lucky number 13.
13 right there.
I think you're onto something there. And, I mean, the thing, everybody's always, had the feeling that Ghost is actually some pretty well-known musicians. And they have kept this going for a while now. Even if they are truly, like, well-known signed musicians that we should know, they've done a fantastic job. We already know that Dave Grohl played drums on some of their live shows. And
the manager from Zia came on, and he told that story. He was at Coachella at the Zia tent, and Ghost came in, and he said one of those guys was Dave Grohl.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think they just, you have a revolving door there as far as who is the Faceless Ghouls in that band.
God damn, how cool is Dave Grohl? Seriously, like idea just popped in my. I mean, I think about it all the time, and I've told you, like, whatever God gave us Nirvana for Dave Grohl.
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah,
he was always just. God.
You think of the legacy of Nirvana, and you look at the legacy of Dave Grohl. Honestly, Dave Grohl has eclipsed Nirvana, and nobody wants to admit that. I mean, everybody, you know, holds Nirvana to a high regard, but you know, they were a firecracker. They were lit for a short time, and they blew up, and then they faded away. You know, and the music lives on. But you know, Dave Grohl has eclipsed Nirvana and their legacy.
I think so. Yeah, and I got into an argument with one of the jocks at my last station, and I was like, Nirvana. I mean, Foo Fighters have totally bypassed Nirvana, and they're like, oh no, you know, that's no. You're. I want to say you're a fucking idiot, but HR would not
right.
approve
Somebody
me.
might be offended at the radio station.
Real quick, going back to Lucas Rossi, the Halo method.
Ah, thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get some of that music. We'll get some of that. We want you to hear that. I know something's cooking on that band that's been going on for a while. So, you know, Lucas, anybody who's kind of wondering, like, man, I know that name. If you watch the Rockstar Supernova, that was with Tommy Lee, Gilby Clarke, and Jason Newsted. They formed a supergroup type band, and they put out actually a pretty competent album.
I never heard the album.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
I'd always thought that was going to be a good album too. I'll probably end up going to Spotify to listen to it. So
yeah, you should check it out. It's worth it. And you know, he won that competition, and he had a short-lived span in that band because that band we knew was just the TV executive's dream.
They played for free on New Year's Eve on Fremont Street.
That's before my time.
Right after right after Lucas won the competition, which was, I think they shot the show in November or something like that.
Yeah.
Or it ended in November, like that December.
Yeah, that was before my Vegas time. But I always wanted to see Lucas play live because I think he's a great vocalist, and I was into his band before he was on that show. And I'm very clueless tonight as far as band names.
You know what? We should do like a follow up on all of those singers because that chick.
Oh, I can tell you right now a lot of them.
Asunga, what was her name?
Yeah, she just played here about a month ago.
No way.
You're talking about Delana?
No, not Delana.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Delana plays. If you mix the two seasons, which was Rockstar NXS and Rockstar Supernova, and you put all those singers together, I know who you're talking about, and I cannot remember the name. It's there.
She was like Tongan or Hawaiian or something like that.
I know what you're saying. But all those singers, a lot of them. I mean, Marty Casey. You know, he was in Love Hammers, and then he sang for LA Guns for a while. He was in Rockstar NXS.
Yeah.
And then you had, of course, Delana, who was the runner-up on Rockstar Supernova, and she actually did sing with Rockstar Supernova.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
And you know what's weird is when they played here in Vegas, the night that they played over on Fremont Street, they all stayed at the Hard Rock. This is a story that I never got out there. Mm-hmm. This is a true story. She OD'd.
Oh, wow.
She OD'd.
Well, I knew she was...
And they actually had to... She died. They brought her back to life in the hotel room.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, she cleaned herself up. I know last time I saw her, she's kind of a hippie mama now.
Oh, is she?
Oh, yeah, big time. And but she still puts on a great performance. You know, she's a
Where did she play at?
Vamped.
Really?
Yeah, both times.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's here quite often?
She tours. She tours constantly.
Really?
Yeah, she's on my Facebook, as a matter of fact. But
I thought I was a Facebook whore. You're the biggest Facebook whore that I know.
Well, thank you very much. But yeah, all those people on that show. I mean, you had another guy who I believe he sang some stuff with Queen for a while. You know, there's so much of that stuff that's happened. But yeah, we'll look into something like that. So we talked about like two subjects now for quite a amount of time. That's actually pretty cool with us.
Yeah.
Let's talk about controversy. There's a controversy going on right now, somewhat. Anytime you bring up the Juggalos, you know, Insane Clown Posse and that Twisted and all those types of guys, you get some, you know, strong feelings. What happened is there's a big festival that takes place in Ohio every year, and it's called the Gathering of the Juggalos. And typically they bring in a ton of bands. I know our friends Dim have been involved in different aspects of that culture and some of those shows. And this year they announced the lineup, and a lot of people were scratching their heads saying, oh my God, is this thing still a thing? It is. El Nino, In This Moment, Emir, Mushroom Head, Puddle of Mud, King 810 are all playing this festival.
You know, what's funny is Emir and El Nino are both on Victory Records.
Indeed. They know what they're doing. I mean, again, there's no shame there. I mean, El Nino is having to defend themselves because they're probably the biggest of the bands that we're talking about. Maybe in this moment, but El Nino's been around a long time. And they don't give a shit. You know, they're like, hey, it's a show. These people love us. They asked us to be on it. We're going to play the show. And I don't think there's a damn thing wrong with that if somebody wants to play a show for people who want to see them.
Yeah.
You know?
No, you know what? As much as I can't stand the whole Juggalo thing, I get it. You know, I'm cool with, you know, who am I to say, you know, what shows you shouldn't play. But let them play whatever they want to play. I personally will never, ever, ever see me at a gathering of the Juggalos.
I remember you said that right here on episode 13.
Yeah.
What if there's a Juggalo in a gathering that you happen to be at?
If there's I'll be honest with you. I have a friend of mine who part-timer that used to work for us in my cleaning business had a Juggalo tattoo on his wrist, and where were we at? We were at a show. We were going to go to see Jane's Addiction over at Brooklyn Bowl.
Oh, okay.
And we were eating dinner at the Yard House, and I said, "Is that a Juggalo tattoo on your wrist?" And he turned, and he's like white like you. He turned
alabaster.
Yeah, clear. He turned red with embarrassment. He goes, he pulls his arm away. He goes, "Yeah, I keep meaning to get rid of that thing."
See, that's why you should never get a tattoo that you can't live with for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Or get it covered up. I mean, that's easy to do. But, you know, I honestly have no problem. Anybody who's passionate about music and culture and a musical culture, as long as they don't give me shit and don't get in my face.
But have you seen the Juggalos?
Yeah, but I don't care.
Would you go to a gathering?
Look at... Actually... If that lineup came here, lineup came here, I would. And I saw how much fun, you know, Tim from LVCS puts on a lot of, you know,
Juggalo acts.
Juggalo type of stuff.
Yeah.
They have a great time. I mean, I would love to see it. Maybe I would walk out of it being like, I hate this. Or I might say, I want to get a tattoo right now. And, I mean, I don't know, but I'm open to it. I'm open to a lot of things. Yeah. Yes.
I'll tell you what I did. This is totally kind of on the subject, but not really. When I started my clothing T-shirt thing, I created that little Juggalo thing, and I fixed it to where, I think I even have it right here. I fixed it to where it reflects who I am as a Mexican.
What?
You're
You're Mexican?
Mexican,
oh,
yeah.
Shit.
So
nobody told me this. Damn it! I thought you were Spanish.
Spanish, my ass. So I don't know if you can see it.
I can. I've seen it before.
You see it?
Is that a sombrero?
Yes.
I like it.
And he's holding a taco instead of an axe.
It makes sense.
Makes sense.
I mean, you know, is it a hard shell taco?
Yeah, sure.
Well, in that case, it's going to hurt.
Definitely hard shell because the soft shell are rolled up.
I don't understand Mexican culture like you do. So we'll have a special show just on Mexican culture.
All Mexican culture, yeah.
I know Taco Bell. That's about it.
So you were talking about how some people are, you know, getting pissy and about certain, you know,
musical acts and opinions about musical acts and legacies.
I don't know if you saw the statement Tony Harnell wrote.
You know, I did not.
From Skid Row.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, fans were giving him a bunch of shit, and he finally came out and said, "Look, basically, fuck you. I'm going to do what I do. I'm here to do a job. I'm going to do the job to the best of my ability in a band that I, you know, love.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you."
So and that's basically all he needs to do.
He doesn't even need to do that, but that's what he needed to do, I think. Not only that, what happened shortly after that is Todd Latour.
Yes.
Todd
Queensryche.
Yeah. Came out and put his 2 cents in and said, "Leave him alone." He's, you know, I'm like, oh my God.
Leave Tony alone.
You know, I know his feelings.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, can we all agree? I'm going to say this out loud. I think Todd has made Queensryche a so much better band.
You think so?
Oh God, yeah. I've known the Queensryche legacy for a long time. They are from where I'm from. Yeah. You know, the actual little town near Seattle. And after Empire, I would say after Empire, Jeff Tate was done. He was not the same guy at all.
No, but I can blame. I think that's more. You can put most of the blame on the fact that Michael Wilton left.
Michael Wilton didn't.
Chris DeGarmo left. Excuse me. Chris DeGarmo left.
Because he was the heart of the band and the writer.
Yeah. And I think that had a lot to do with the label also.
No, you're right, because they went through about 5 labels after that. So, I mean, there's a lot of reasons. But when I hear the Queensryche album they made with Latour, it's a great album. It's more like the old Queensryche and everything. There's nothing wrong with it. People can either take it or leave it, but he didn't sully the name. Neither has Tony Harnell. Everybody who has been going on and on and on and on, and on about Tony Harnell being the best vocalist of our time, and, you know, TNT, listen to this, listen to that. You know, I've listened to the TNT, and I liked some of their later albums and everything. But, you know, when I compare it to Solinger was not a good fit for Skid Row.
No, never was.
So, but nobody really bitched about it. Not to the extent
they
that
just
they're
put
doing.
up with him because they knew his
exactly.
time. They knew
well,
that it was
they all
ticking.
thought, okay, when's it going to happen? Sebastian will be back in the band. This is the weirdest situation for when you think about bands that got back together that absolutely hated each other. You never thought Skid Row would be the one that would never get back together because of some bullshit that happened 15 years ago. But it's going that way.
Is there something that you know? Like, is there a specific
no,
incident?
it's just Rachel Bolan and Sebastian Bach hated each other. They hated each other.
You know, there's ways around that.
I know. I know.
I mean, Rachel.
Yeah.
If you're listening, fucking take the nose, take that chain off of your ear and nose, and just
trust me. Snake has said that. Snake has no problem with it. Snake said he would be interested. Scotty said he'd be interested. Yeah. Robert Fuso said he would go back in the band.
He said he tried to get them two together in the same room, and it wasn't going to happen.
You know, and I mean, something. Is it a woman? Who knows? I mean, it could be something that was really more serious than we think.
You know what? It better not be over a woman. I'm going to tell you, it better not, because I'll be fucking like. Fuck all you guys.
But you and I have both had experiences with Sebastian Bach.
Yes.
He is, we've had like short experiences with him, and he has really been hard to handle.
Yes.
And
but, you know, the waitress here is very lovely. I like her.
Her name is Daria. So if you come over here to PT's, the Foothills PT's in Summerlin, ask for Daria.
Yeah. Tattoos on her arm, long curly hair.
Or Carrie.
Hey, girl.
Okay. BigMex, we got to reel you in. If you can imagine somebody reeling somebody in right now, I'm reeling in BigMex. And
you know what? I joke. Like I mean, probably about 2 years ago, I probably wouldn't be joking. 6 months ago, I probably wouldn't be joking, but I'm joking.
People know. We know. Everybody at this table knows. There's like 40 or 50 people here right now.
Yeah.
I hopefully you can't hear them. We're trying to like talk over them, and whether or not you believe that. Somebody just laughed really loud at that. But going back to what we're talking about, you know, we've had experiences with Sebastian Bach, and we know he is extremely difficult to get along with for 5 minutes. I can somewhat understand why maybe Rachel Bolan absolutely hates the guy. But when you're talking millions of dollars.
Paycheck. Yeah. This is a huge paycheck.
I know Rachel's punk and everything, but there comes a time when fucking Johnny Rotten will play with the Sex Pistols. Oh, wait, he did.
He did.
Yeah, so, you know.
I'm sure if he could, he would have gotten Sid Vicious out of the
he would have been just as good of a bassist out of the grave as he was, you know, as far as that goes. Yeah. But so where are we at in this first segment?
You know what? Let's just hang out for a little bit.
You want to play something?
What do we?
I would love to play something. I'll take a little bit of time to explain this. There's a band, I mentioned them a little while ago. They're called Screaming for Silence. They won the Battle of the Bands to play Rocklahoma just recently, and it was a huge deal. That's a big festival. That's not just a little, you know, Warped Tour or something like that. That's huge. They really knocked it out of the park. They are, in my opinion, the Great White Hope. And not just because they're white guys, but they are the next thing I think that could dominate radio. And they write really cool songs, and they're just a great live band. They are playing at Vamped here in Las Vegas on Wednesday, June 10th. Yes, that is the same night as Ministry. So all you guys are like, oh, I can't go because of Ministry. You know what? This show's going to be like 11 o'clock at night at Vamped. So once you're done with Ministry, you just head over to Vamped on Sahara and Rainbow. And it's a free show, so head on over. Dinner Music for the Gods is opening. I know a lot of you guys like them. And you're really not going to be disappointed, so trust me. This is a song from Screaming for Silence, and this is called The King is Crowned off their self-titled LP that's available everywhere.
And it's a strong song, too, so enjoy it.
Yeah, so rock out.
I know retreat, no giving in. You try, but you're gonna fail. To the king is crowned. You try, but you never win. There's no retreat, no giving in. No time, but you're gonna fail. To the king is crowned. You try, but you never win. There's no retreat, no giving in. No time, but you're gonna fail. Let the king is crowned.
Volume 11 music. This is the BigMex and Jamie
Hello.
show. And we're talking about this, and I'm just going to address it right now. And that was, two things. We're at PT's.
Yeah.
One, that's the Foothills location of PT's over in Summerlin.
Yeah.
That's going to be on Tropicana and Fort Apache, I believe
Yep.
it is. Just a great place. Is where we hang out quite a bit. And the other thing I want to address is that when I come in from a segment, I tend to be radio ready, meaning that I sound like a car salesman. So I apologize. I'm working on that. So just know that.
They don't care, dude, what you sound
I think
like.
they care. I think
so?
I think a little bit. People
Yeah.
are like, oh man. But anyways,
Who was that? I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm stepping on your toes.
yeah,
Go
my
ahead.
toes. Good thing I'm not wearing flip
Do your
flops.
thing. Do your thing. I'm
Anyways,
sorry.
that was Screaming for Silence. Screaming for Silence is honestly one of my favorite bands right now. I cannot get enough of them. That's a song called The King is Crowned. They're playing at Vamped over on Sahara and Rainbow next Wednesday, the 10th of June.
They know where Vamped is at, bro.
You know what?
They know where
One
Vamped is
guy
at.
listening right now had no idea where Vamped was, and he just said, oh, thank you very much. So yeah, they're playing, so make sure you see them. Right now, BigMex, let's introduce our guest.
Yes, we have a guest in studio. Listen to me. That's radio right there.
In PTs.
In PTs
in
right now.
PTs, live in PTs.
Derek, I hope I get this right because I'm Pontier.
Pontier.
Pontier. Because I always
put a lay in there for a second. It's actually it used to be Pontieri. But
Really?
My great grandfather dropped the I.
Okay.
I'm Italian. I'm not.
That sounds French. Yeah.
I'm not French. Hardly.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's offensive.
So
Yeah.
Derek Pontier, it gets pronounced like that.
Okay, Pontier.
got
Used
it.
to be formerly of Jack Russell's
Well,
Great
actually,
White.
Great White. I don't claim Jack Russell's Great White. I claim Great White. I quit
Just
Great White.
Well,
Great White.
there's always been some issues with there's always been some issues with that, and of course I guess whatever legal outcome with that was Jack Russell's Great White or Great White and stuff like that.
I
So
was with the Great White before all that stuff, before he was going after the name,
Yeah.
like the whole legal proceedings. And because I played with all the original guys and did a record with them, I can actually legally claim Great White. And because of just other issues, I don't claim. I was with, I worked different versions after
I
being
get
with
it.
the guys
Yeah.
in 2001. But just for reasons, other issues, nothing. I won't go into detail, but I just don't claim it. And,
Yeah.
And it's kind of. It's
I
a
get it.
big part of my past, and it's great.
Yeah.
I love it. But it's time, there's two versions. There's all this two version stuff going on, and a lot of 80s and some great bands, and a lot of my buddies are still out touring, and it's great.
So what do you got going? We have a mutual friend, Brad.
Yes,
Brad and
Buddy
Melissa.
Brad, yeah.
And
Brad and Melissa, great
yes,
people. Great people.
Beyond great. So that's how you and I met, and but you're doing some touring this summer or the fall.
Everything's kind of been a little slow. I've landed some projects I'm really excited about, but they're going to be starting, later on this summer, fall, stuff like that. I'm doing pretty selective these days, it's nice to be in that position. I love being able to do that because I'm doing other things, just different type of things I'm doing. And one of the gigs that's starting in the fall, I'll do it like in order. I get this one thing, a lot of those bands that have all these guys from other national acts in them. Well, I'm in one of those, which there's a lot of them, and and it works in some places. It's some places it's easy to book, some places it isn't.
Yeah.
So I'm not playing a gig with that group. It's called Super Troop. It's got other guys, a guy from singer Chaz West who played with Jason Bonham Band.
He was in Badlands, wasn't he?
No, he was with. Right now, he's working with Red Dragon Cartel.
That's
right.
Jakey Lee's band.
Yes,
He's out doing
yes,
stuff with
yes,
them.
yes.
And he's busy. Good for him. I think
Yeah.
it's great. He's been touring, I think, with them since like May. And this Super Troop thing's been going since like October of last year. And I kind of, we've done a few gigs. And the next shows aren't until August back east and in Canada again.
Okay.
And and one of the guys is the guitarist who kind of runs the thing is from Bang Tango. He was with them for a few years.
What's his name?
His name's Scott.
Okay.
Scott Laflamme.
Oh.
Is he French?
Maybe.
I know. Like, wait, maybe he is.
He might be. It's a fun band. It just doesn't play enough. It's a lot of these bands. I'm gonna be straight up here on this interview because I'm not somebody. I saw something on social media. I don't go on and debate on Facebook, do the comment thing, but sometimes I'll answer people when I see them kind of being sarcastic. Someone goes on there, they go, super group, super troop, playing, we're just some shows in Texas. First off, we're not a super group. Hardly. Far from it. I have definitions of super groups.
Yeah.
And, I'm proud of what I've done, made a name for myself in the business, and I'm very proud of that. But I don't go around thinking I'm some over-the-top rock star like our big people that we're influenced by. Those, and they put, they throw different bands together.
Yeah.
Those are your super groups.
Yeah.
But if someone wants to say that, fine. But some people go on there. I read this one some big guy from Texas. We're playing at the Concert Pub North on August 15th after we do the run back east. And he's like, oh, what's this? You see these other bands going on, all these bands all with these all-star bands, and, now there's this. He was, I go, okay, whatever. People have a right to their opinion, and I'm not the bashing type guy or slandering guy, okay? But I don't like sarcasm. He goes, oh, another band with bands we know, but guys we don't know. Well, first off, when someone makes a generalization like that, say it. Some people may not know because I've been doing this for a while, and I've made a name, and I'm very proud of that fact. So I'm not somebody generalize like that and say, well, nobody know some of the guys.
Yeah.
The band, either people like it or they dislike it. You can't please everybody in this business.
No,
And
you
it's fine.
shouldn't.
And I don't.
You shouldn't.
And I shouldn't have to. This is a fun gig. We got new gigs. We play songs from the bands we toured with. Okay, that we made names with, and do some other stuff like some Zeppelin, like a lot of people do. And if people like it, they can hate it, say what they want. But what I did was, when I rebutted, I usually don't. But I was like, you know what? LOL. I go, there's always going to be someone putting negative comments down and saying bad stuff like that. But you know what? To each his own. I just keep moving forward. So be it. Well, this guy's going to be at the gig. I looked at his picture. Big old guy from Texas, right? And he's, he answers back. He goes, well, what did he say? He's like, yeah, I'll probably be at the gig anyway, but, supergroup, it's a stretch. And, I couldn't agree more with him. But that was someone else who wrote that. I rebutted to make sure people know that I'm not the one writing that on there, and no one else. I told the group, don't ever do what a lot of groups do and make yourself look so great and call yourself the ultimate band.
Yeah.
Let the people decide that, who come and see you. You've got a modest approach, but a confident approach.
Yeah,
there's a fine line here. So this week we just had Dee Snider kind of go online and say a lot about rating the Rock Vault.
I heard.
And my first thought about that was, Dee tried to do the same thing, and a lot of people forgot about that. He tried to do Monster Circus here on the
Tony
Strip.
Montana was in that. We played together. We toured
Exactly.
Together, yes.
So a lot of people didn't think about that in the first place. Like, oh, Dee's just pissed off because somebody actually made it work. But nobody's ever claimed in Rating the Rock Vault to be the purveyors of the songs they're playing. They're players, just like you just said.
Exactly.
You played with those bands. You're celebrating those bands, and you're celebrating your influences.
Yeah, and in that thing, I know they have Paul Shortino, who I've known for years,
Right.
and I worked with him years ago. And just a side, it never got off the ground, but it was fun. He's a nice guy. And there's some legit guys in there. Doug Aldrich, Whitesnake, Dio. That guy's an amazing guitar player.
Oh, yeah.
Unreal.
And I think Tracy Guns was in it for a little bit.
Right.
And those are legit guys, and that's,
Howard Leese.
Yeah, Howard Leese.
You know.
Like I say, and we did shows with Twist Sister. I dig the band. I don't know any of them personally, but I grew up, listening to them in high school, and it was fun doing shows with them.
Yeah.
And they're just, it's really cool.
Yeah.
I think the last time we played with them was at M3 in 2013, I think.
Wow.
It was Bret Michaels and all those people in there, and if you can still go out and play.
I think it's great. I mean,
Yeah,
if it gives me the opportunity to see bands that maybe I grew up in that scene. I grew up, with Poison, and that whole scene was my grow up time.
Right.
And if I get to see, I mean, who knows? Like, I get to see Jizzy Pearl sing for LA Guns, or right now Quiet Riot, or I get to see all these things.
Right.
I'm more than happy to see that.
And
And that's a different thing too. Like, people mix up these bands that get together with several guys from other bands that create bands that play different songs from those bands with somebody singing for another band.
Like Bret Michaels, the band, the Poison band.
They have a new guy, right?
Is touring.
They have Brandon Gibbs singing.
Now, who's Brandon Gibbs? Who did he play with?
He's a singer for Devil City Angels, which is a side group of
Ricky Rocket.
Or Rockets, right?
That's one of the things that one guy mentioned from Texas. So you got Devil City Angels, all these bands. I go, why bust on it and bust on us?
Yeah.
Either like us or don't. Don't go to the show. But people, what I'm sick of these days is people going on social media. You got something to say it to the person.
Keyboard
Don't
cowboys.
be a keyboard warrior. Say it to the person on the phone call and just be a man about it.
Or don't say anything at all and just enjoy the music.
Exactly. Like I say, I'm very proud of what I did with Great White. I'm very proud of it. I may not, I've kind of gotten away from it now, and it's nice to be able to not that I'm saying completely overshadow it.
But time has passed.
It's nice, got new things going, and and it's done a lot for me, especially being with the original group, all the original guys. And the different versions. I did the benefit tours and just played back also from 2012 to 2013. Then decided just to leave. It's just time to move on. Yeah, but a lot of people I know, there's like a fine line. You say there's people that are tired of seeing two versions of them or all these different replacement members. I hear this when I was out, and this is not me saying this. Gigs come and go, musicians come and go.
Oh yeah.
For several reasons. And that's just the name. That's the business.
And I guess kind of going on the two versions of a thing, and I just popped in my head. I guess Jeff Tate's not allowed to sing certain songs, or Queensryche's not allowed to play certain songs.
I haven't heard that in their agreement.
Not Michael Wilton.
Eddie?
The bass player.
Eddie.
I think it's Eddie Jackson.
Eddie Jackson. Yeah.
Just came out recently and said, it's tough to not play certain Queensryche songs.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow, that must have been the deal.
Yeah.
Because nobody.
Be.
Yeah. So
have you seen him with the?
I haven't seen the Todd Latour guy.
I've heard the album.
Did you?
We played with him in McHenry, Illinois, at a bike fest, and we opened, and they went on. They headlined it, and I've seen Queensryche many a times when it was Jeff Tate, Krista Garmo, all of them, Empire Tour.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, this was a great too. They were tight as can be, and the singer's name's Todd Latour. Am I saying that correctly?
I think it's Latour.
Todd Latour.
What's with all these la?
I met a real
Come
nice
on
guy
now.
and great singer, and he gets out there and he does it.
Kills it.
He just kills it because he's on it. You can tell he was just studied it, and he compliments Jeff Tate and the whole band. And he does an amazing job. I watched the whole show. I was like, wow.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about that in our first segment. We did a first segment, a short one. And like I said, I grew up in Kirkland, Washington, so I knew those guys.
Okay.
You just talked about Eddie Jackson. I went to school with his sister. I knew Eddie and everything. Yeah. It's just, I thought after...
Did you ever see his sister naked?
I had really. What if she's listening right now? No, I did not, nor did I want to.
Then she'll tell her brother.
Okay, you know Eddie Jackson, right? You can picture him in your head right now.
I know who Eddie Jackson.
Think of a female version of him. Yeah. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. After Empire, after going into like Promised Land and stuff like that, I thought that was it. Everything after that was really disjointed, and it didn't seem like anybody was getting along. DeGarmo left. DeGarmo came back for a little bit. DeGarmo left. It was just a mess. I mean, I think Queensryche was done for quite some time at that point.
Mindcrime.
Mindcrime 2 didn't, in my opinion, live up at all. It was one of those almost like a movie sequel. It's like, oh, why did they do that?
I liked
my favorite album was Rage for Order.
Oh yeah,
hands
down.
I
was just say Rage for Order. Love it.
Yeah. Mindcrime was on a completely different. I mean, it was great, but it was a completely
compared to Rage.
First,
it was just like, oh, this is
awesome. I had the cassette.
I first heard. Yes, so did I.
I still have it.
Amazing.
Damn it! I should have kept those.
It's great and it's cool. As long as everybody's playing, as long as I look at it this way: if people are going to the shows, tickets are selling, keep it going. And the thing of it is, these days, what I've noticed, you don't have to have any more hit records, especially bands of the 80s. You can tour casinos around the U.S. and Canada.
We talked about Vegas. This. Yeah.
Indie casinos, all of them.
Yeah.
They hook you up. They take care of you, and people are still going to the shows.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Like that's why the Eagles play here every 6 months. That's why Styx plays here every 6 months.
Oh yeah.
Because they go to these casinos and they take care of them.
Because you have a different crowd every time. I mean, you're not necessarily catering towards the Las Vegas local when you go to a casino or to the, Ohio local. Casinos draw people from everywhere. Yeah. And at any given time, you're gonna have a whole new crowd. And that's why they can play those shows. They can pay the artists well. They don't have to go crazy because it's not U2 playing there. But, I mean, they can treat them like kings and it's good for everybody. And you have people who maybe haven't gone to a rock show in 10 years that are seeing everybody that they like, oh man, I knew him from Great White. I knew him, they're loving that. And I love that when I moved here 7 years ago, when I got to see artists that I grew up with, that I loved, that I saw in arenas, that I could not see up close, that I've actually met now. It's just, there's something cool about that to me.
I got a question for you, and it just hit me. Who do you like that's new? Like as far as band, a new artist. Who do you like that's new, that's going on around right now?
Oh, there's a ton of new artists I dig. I like everything from all the new rock bands, pop artists. I'm a big country fan, country rock fan.
Yeah.
There's so many. Yeah, I could just sit here and name
You're
a ton of them.
Damn it, who is it?
You start naming some, I'll say yes or no. I'm really.
What about a band like Pop Evil?
Pop.
Is that a band you're okay?
Shine Down. Oh, they're older. I mean, to me, they're.
But still, they're contemporary.
They're contemporary. Yeah.
It just, and it goes back to I go back to my roots of music. Before I was ever into like AC/DC, Van Halen, Eric Clapton, Molly Hatchet. Before that was a lot of your classic country. And Elvis, Neil Diamond. And I'm going to get to an Elvis. I'm going to tell you about the new gig I got coming up.
Okay.
But it's actually it also landed me another gig. I'm real excited about it. It's called Shadow of a King.
Okay.
Now it's not just it's not a regular Elvis type tribute. It's full orchestra. I mean, it's a whole 1973. We're doing that Aloha from Hawaii type tour, that thing.
Okay.
And
73 is a great year.
Oh yeah, and if you look at all the music styles that Elvis played, you got gospel, R&B, blues, rock and roll, and also with the orchestra. Sometimes you listen to some of the songs, and I've been really studying it detailed because it's got this almost like a big band. There's this swing. It's interesting stuff.
It's a different beast, different
exactly.
animal.
Yeah. The drumming, when I was 9, 10 years old when I first started, okay, I was playing those records. I had a snare drum. My parents got me a snare drum. I was playing in school bands. I didn't get my first drum set until I was 14. So, I've been playing for way over 35 years.
Yeah.
Probably more than that. And I would start out, I would take this, I'd just make anything in drums. I'd take coffee cans, okay? I'd have my practice pad. I'd have every size coffee can, okay?
Yeah.
I'd have the lids were the heads. I'd cut out the bottoms, which I made cymbals. That was before I had drum set, and I was serious about it, and I was practice. I would set them up, and I'd practice these Elvis records. Now, at the time, I didn't really know what I was studying, all this different type of music. Now I'm studying it more detailed, but because of doing that, it helps me in today playing it. So, I learn something every day for as long as I've been playing, I always try to, be enthused about it, because the business of music can almost ruin you. It can.
Oh, yeah, we see it
every
day.
Anybody, but I'm not going to let it ruin me.
Yeah,
You move forward. I work. I have my own small business, but music's always there.
Yeah.
And it's never been, I'm going to say this, and a lot of times some people think, oh man, one person would say, you must be rich. I go, no.
Yeah.
I'm not rich from being in this gig or these gigs. It's nothing wrong with making a lot of money, like I told you, but music, to me, the art of playing drums is not about money, but the business is.
Yeah.
Okay, and people agree. When I say that, people understand it. But this gig is going to be, it's a whole tour. It starts out in January. And we're also doing a video.
This is the Shadow of the King tour.
Yes.
Now, is it going to play here locally?
I'm sure there will be a show in Vegas. I'm not sure yet. I don't know exactly what all the details of the shows are. I just know it starts January 2016. I believe pre-production rehearsals start in the fall.
Yeah.
And then, once it gets going, it's gonna tour for a little while, and I'm excited about it.
Is it going to be more of a tribute style, or is it going to be?
When I saw Lloyd Aaron Douglas, who is the Elvis person, he made it sound like, I think he used the word illusion, more of kind of like, I don't even want to, that's probably the wrong word to use. We're going to take people to see, to kind of continue on, not
transport them.
Yeah. When I called it a tribute the other day, John Grip, who's he was not really a tribute, and this is what he told me. It's a whole. It's just something you got to see.
Yeah, because that's what I meant by saying, because homage more than anything, a little bit more towards
homage
that.
would probably be a better word. Yes.
Yeah, and it's a lot of work. I've been studying the songs,
imagine.
and when you do when I'm drumming with the rock bands doing the big arena rock endings, when I'm studying Elvis how it does, it's a different animal. It's like the endings seem different. The music, there's even more dynamics. And the drumming, my whole goal is
technically.
But yet it's got this, in the 70s, how the whole style of music is more of a free. What's the word I'm looking for? Not
a little bit more freeform and not so technical.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yet tight. Elvis, I mean, the way he interacted with his band, it wasn't like just him out front, the pop star, rock
kind of
star.
directed him.
Yeah, and he was right there with them. Kind of like the whole thing, and just really cool. Really cool.
That sounds good, man. I hope that's way cool, and I hope there's a Vegas show.
Well, we got to play in Vegas. I mean, this was his playground.
It's kind of made for Vegas right there, and you could tap into. I don't want to use the word hipster crowd, but I mean that's kind of it kind of can touch every age group.
Well, did you
in
ever
that sense?
Did you ever go on YouTube when they did the 25th anniversary of his passing? That they did this. The whole band did a tour where they had Elvis on a screen.
I think I heard something about that.
Amazing, and it brought in all ages.
It's like it's like when they did the Beatles. I mean, there's certain things you can do that can make it be a nostalgia act, and this is not that. I mean, everything you've said is not nostalgia. I want to go a totally different direction because you were sitting here. What do you think of like the movie like Whiplash? When you were talking about,
I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it.
You haven't really?
I haven't
Okay.
seen it yet either.
I wanted to ask you because you were describing the way that the drumming was in the 70s, and there was just something about that movie that just. It reminded me of that era, even though it was more into the jazz drumming and things like that. But a lot of those players were more of the jazz-influenced drummers.
And that's what I want to
You look at all those guys. I mean, they're all
that's
jazz
a different
drummers.
style, and I want to learn more jazz. I studied a little Latin drumming, very little jazz to mix with rock. And in this gig, I've got to combine. I'm not just going from, like I was telling you about the Indies. Elvis, how he did the Indies. You got to be right on with the whole choreography. Mm-hmm. And something seems like it ends quicker than what other songs.
A lot of it was the look too.
Yes.
Even then, everyone in the 80s said, "Oh, everybody had to do this and that in the 80s." You look at some of those guys from you look at the guys from the 50s and all that. That was a show.
Oh yeah.
It was more of a show than Tommy Lee was even. When you look at his drumming. So it's a good comparison.
I just love all styles of music, and it's the more diverse you can be, the better. Because I do session work, so I'm getting ready to do. I'm supposed to do. Sometime this year, a country record with a up-and-coming female country artist.
What artist?
I can't remember her name. She's in L.A. I haven't met her yet. I have no idea who she is. The agent told me about her. She's just brand new to the scene.
How
they may
is
have
that?
told me the name, but I forgot because it's something where I'll hire in, do the songs, like 4 songs. It's like a country rock thing, but that's a big thing. I love it. It's huge.
I got a question for you about that in a second. We're going to play a song.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's do that.
Let's play a song.
So this is our second song of the episode here, episode 13.
Lucky
13. This is a band out of Philly. They're called Everlit, and this is a song called Breakaway. They have a new EP called Renovate. It's out right now, and some people might recognize. Actually, Ted Hollows was supposed to be on this episode tonight. And I was going to ask him about this.
He's under the weather.
He's under the weather. They used to be a band called Willpowerless, and they toured with American Head Charge. So I was going to ask him about that. So I'll remember to ask him next time. But this is Everlit with Breakaway.
Right here on Volume11Music.com, the BigMex and
Jamie Show.
You're putting on me. We never seem to see eye to eye. I keep running away, but I'm so quick to return. This battle in me starting to burn.
Volume11music.com. BigMex and
Jamie
show here. Who was that, Jamie?
That's a band called Everlit. They're out of Philly. They have a new EP called Renovate, and that was Breakaway. Really, really cool song.
And we still have Derek Pontier here. Pontier.
There you go.
I'm going to get it right. I want to say Le Pontier.
I know you want
because
to.
Because it's French. Because
You
it
should have,
sounds like a French name.
You need like 8 syllables in your last name. I mean, if you can do that, you know you've made it.
Rockstar names, or like everyone has like the Saint James or the Saint.
There's
Saint
eras of the names. Like you have a bunch of Saints, you have a bunch of Luz, and you have a bunch of Diz.
So I had a question for you. You mentioned how your agent just tells you, "Hey, go here, play this record, whatever gig or whatever."
Yes, Elena from Exciting Entertainment.
How is that like as a musician, like just to be told, "Hey, go here"? Don't you have some kind of curiosity? Like, who am I playing for? Oh, I don't know.
They tell me everything before I go. They let me know the whole
okay.
logistics of the gig, whether if it's a recording session. Like Elena from Exciting Entertainment, she hooked me up with the Super Troop thing, and she also is. She hooked me up with other stuff in the past, and she's getting things for me, and I can work with other people as well. I'm not just exclusive with her. I get things on my own and stuff. So, but it's nice to have. It's always good to have nice outside representation. As well to help. And she gets some things, so it works out. So I'm still working with her and doing other stuff.
That's cool.
One thing comes. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Keep going. I was
Keep speaking.
Yeah.
Through the Elvis, the Shadow of a King gig, John Grip, who's the mastermind of that whole thing, the whole producer of it, hooked me up with Roger Capps, who was Pat Benatar's bass player early on. He played a lot of stuff with her, did the first video on MTV with her, and also the guitar player is Greg Wright from Michael Jackson in the Thriller era Victory Tour.
Yeah.
Now, this is exciting for me because the people they have worked with, the drummers they played with, and their drummer's Matt Sorum. He's with them, and he's doing other things, so I've been taken on by those guys as a sub for that gig.
Okay.
And they're going to be on the road with the Shadow of a King tour, doing the shows with opening up and stuff, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And then I'll do some shows in this summer, and because Matt's busy with a bunch of other things as well, from what I understand. So
just out of curiosity, Velvet Revolver stuff maybe?
I'm sorry?
Velvet Revolver stuff?
It's more. This is more like a rock and blues thing. Because when I first met him, we went in and we went to a blues night at a place called the Maui Sugar Mill Saloon in North Hollywood. Okay, and we just sit in. I went and met up with him. I did one of their original blues songs just off the cuff, and started jamming with them. And then we did a Stevie Ray Vaughan, Pride and Joy. And it was awesome, and got hired on right there. So I'll be working with them. It's great. And those guys are, look at the icons they played with.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's great stuff. And they're just great players, Greg and Roger.
Yeah. So when you think of you were asking about Matt Sorum, he actually has a solo album that just came out. The Fierce Joy is like the band that he is doing. And so that kind of goes on the same level. It's like it's more of a trippy kind of throwback type stuff.
His wife is a singer, I believe.
I believe so. Yeah. I mean, but he's doing something completely different. So I don't think there's anything in the pipeline for Velvet Revolver. So,
okay. I think
so
it's great.
put those dreams away.
He's a great drummer.
Oh,
he
always has been. He always has been. Seems like a good guy too. Something I kind of change subjects here, unfortunately or fortunately, if you like movies. I'd like to kind of run down.
Who doesn't like movies?
I would hope that people like. So this is it's kind of a mix between movies and TV and stuff like that. I like to go through kind of a list of things, and anybody here in this room that likes to speak out of what I say, please say it when I say it. First thing.
What?
I'm sorry. You need not you. I should say anybody but Mex. Can say whatever they want. So turn off your mic. No. So news came out today that I talk about Star Wars a lot because I like Star Wars. I can't help it. The anthology movies. Those are the movies that are going to come out between the main episode 7, 8, 9. The second one, the first one's already been announced as Rogue One. We already know that's happening. It's going to take place between episodes 3 and 4. The second one, who lost the director, which is Josh Trank, who was a Fantastic Four director. He's dropped out. He's a weirdo. He likes dogs. Anyways, the second movie is pretty much a get-go that it's going to be a Boba Fett versus Han Solo movie. It's going to take place again between episode 3 and 4. It'll be more like a Western-style chase movie.
Between 8 and 9, really.
No, actually, this movie, everything in the
episodes
anthologies,
8 and 9.
Well, I said that in the beginning. Come on, Max.
People,
everybody here is following. They're saying that the movies will come out between episode 7, 8, 9, but the actual era of the anthology movies will take place between episodes 3 and 4.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I wasn't.
It's
paying.
okay.
You told me to turn my mic off. So
I know, but you turned your headphones off, obviously,
I
too.
did.
But so, anyways, it seems like all the anthology movies are going to take place between episodes 3 and 4. So this one's going to be pretty much a Fett solo movie, and the in the rumor mill is Jon Favreau to be the director, who did Iron Man.
I dig that.
And then also Matthew Vaughn, who did X-Men First Class and the unexpectedly great Kingsman, which I love that movie. I thought it was a fantastic movie.
That? No. It was kind of like a teenage James
a super
Bond.
violent James Vaughn. Or James Bond.
Wow.
Pretty violent. Yeah.
You might dig it. It's actually a more British movie.
Really?
But I really recommend it. I did not think I would like this movie, but honestly, I love Kick-Ass, which this director did Kick-Ass. And so it kind of had some of that DNA from that. Yeah. But so those guys are in the running to direct this movie, so I think it's going to be pretty awesome.
I have a question for you. I just recently, because I've been in this documentary mode lately.
Okay.
I like everything documentary. Sports.
Okay. Yes.
I saw The People versus George Lucas. Have you ever seen that?
I've heard about it, but I've never seen it.
Okay. It's basically all these people that hate George Lucas.
Pretty much everybody?
Pretty much everybody. So I didn't know this, and sorry for interrupting your train of thought over there. Remember when Ted Turner wanted to colorize black and white movies?
Yes.
Remember like in the late 80s, early 90s? Well, a big opposer of that was George Lucas. Okay? So later on... Ironically, George Lucas did not, when he changed the original Star Wars films, redid them, and with the whole, special effects explosions.
Greedo shoots first.
Yeah. He said he ruined the original film. Mm-hmm. Which is, he was also, like when I guess when a film becomes some cultural status,
right,
it gets put into like it then belongs to the government, basically.
Yeah, they put it in the film archives.
Film archives.
Yes.
There you go. He said he put in the film archives for Star Wars the remastered ones.
How dare he?
And he was telling all these Star Wars nuts, "Oh well, I ruined the original film. There is no original film anymore." People were saying, well, you had to go from film to digital to redo the special effects.
Right.
You didn't have to ruin the film. So, essentially, he's being a hypocrite and stuff like that about his own movies.
I mean, George Lucas, we could do a whole episode on Star Wars. And I think, honestly, I can say this. I'll say this right now. Come maybe November of this year, we're going to do a whole episode dedicated to Star Wars because we're going to have the Force Awakens comes out about a month after November. So we're going to do a whole episode on that. I'm telling you right now.
December comes after November? Is that what you're saying?
As far as I've heard. I have a birthday in December.
Is that still happening?
Up until 2018 is the last year they're going to do that.
Tell you what, CC me on that when you find out for sure. Would you please?
CC DeVille you on that?
Yeah, CC DeVille me on that.
Gotcha. I will do that. But, just speaking of Star Wars, it's such a hot topic and everything. But we will definitely revisit the whole,
let's do that.
The fight.
And we're going to get a couple of Star Wars nuts in here.
We're going to get some Stormtroopers. We're going to get some cosplay in here.
Yes.
And including you and I.
I'm not...
we're going to do it. We're going to
only if I can be Princess Leia in the bikini.
Right now, I can see the cinnamon buns on your ears right now from your headphones. I can picture it really, really easy.
I'm going to be Princess Leia in the bikini.
Oh, we're all good there. So, talking more about movies and TVs, I don't know if any of you watched the latest episode of Game of Thrones. I think we're in like the 5th season, I think.
You're not into Game of Thrones?
I've never seen it.
Oh, my God. Dude, I totally binge watched it. And I was hooked.
Oh, yeah. I think, actually, it's one of those shows that if you decide you want to watch it, binge watching is your friend. Because you don't have to wait a week to...
There's only 10 episodes. Nobody's really. Nobody.
The first season, you have Sean Bean, if you recognize that name.
Sean Bean.
Peter Dinklage, which is that dwarf
the
guy.
One with the girl that shoots the bow and arrow?
No, that's Hunger Games.
No, that's Hunger Games.
That's
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence.
I did see that.
I'll watch her read the phone book, but that's another story.
Well, real quick. There's only 10 episodes a season. There's 5 seasons. They just started the 5th season. So if you wanted to binge watch it now, if you're into that, watch on the road or whatever, you can get caught up real quick.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the best shows on TV. And there's some like episodes that are like, okay, that was kind of boring. But then the next episode,
really
like last week's, and last week's just, I mean, the last 15 minutes were incredible. I mean, again, for people who haven't watched it, they have no interest in this whatsoever. But a lot of stuff was revealed. The battle itself was incredible. There was some big secrets spilled, and just seeing this thing unfold on the screen was incredible. But I urge you to check it out. Again, if you don't watch it, you're not like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. But if you do, you know what I'm talking about.
If you want, and there are a lot of people out there right now that have, they're either binge watching The Walk of Dead right now,
or The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead's another great. Yeah, Walking Dead is another great TV show right now on. But I suggest just binge watch Game of Thrones because it's really, like I said, it's really easy to catch up on. Yeah,
it's almost an hour episode each time, and you watch whole season in one day if you have nothing going on.
I don't.
It's okay. Speaking of the Game of Thrones, the band Mastodon actually worked their ways onto the set of this episode, and they played Wildlings in the massive set that took place in the last 15 minutes of the episode. And it was hard to spot them because everybody in the scene had giant beards and they looked kind of like grungy. Well, guess what? That's what Mastodon looks like. But they fit in very well. I guess one of the people on the crew is a huge metal fan, and that's how they got in there. But it was very cool. I mean, when you think about a show, you think about Scott Ian on The Walking Dead. You think about these people who get to be on their favorite show. That's pretty awesome. I mean, Scott Ian's actually had a pretty good run. He was on Married with Children too.
Yeah.
And because he was in love with Christina Applegate.
That's right.
But
who wasn't or isn't in love with Christina?
Oh yeah,
Applegate.
she's still awesome.
That's great. This looks good.
So, also in movie news, Arrested Development, they gave it the green light for season 5.
Really?
It's going to be on Netflix. You know what? You're not going to get me on that one. I love that show. I will concede that season 4 was kind of lame.
Yeah.
They changed the format of the show. You can't do that.
See, I watched it through season 2, and I was like, it's not interesting anymore.
You give it a chance. Because, the first season is one that I had to, really labor through.
Oh, no, I love the first season.
The first probably 5 episodes, I was like, I don't know. But after that, I just, watched, 35 hours of the show within 8 hours somehow. But the Netflix season they changed the format. It was each episode had to do with one character. It just, to me, it didn't work, but it was popular enough that they're going to give us a season 5. So hopefully they'll go back to the same, same deal. And what else we got? Flash. Can we just talk about the Flash?
Real quick, I have praised how they wrote that show. I loved every episode.
Except
the last 30 seconds of the season finale.
Please give us your insight on why you hate that last 30 seconds.
To me, they should have left it to where... if you're going to put a cliffhanger... which I'm fine with. I'm totally fine with cliffhangers. Leave the cliffhanger to where, oh my God, a black hole is opening up in Central City, and then go to end credits. Don't have him fucking running up into the black hole and end with a shot going into his eye. That was the stupidest ending.
That is what pisses you off?
My fucking 10 and 11-year-olds were like, they literally, in their minds, I could hear it in their minds say, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, but that's because you're right there. They have to feel that way. Even if they loved it, they're like, we better make Dad proud.
No, because the wife and I, we watched it while they were in school. Thumbs up on watching movies while they were in school.
Good job.
And we let them watch it when they came home.
And you watched it again, right?
We didn't say anything. We let them watch it, and whatever. They didn't like the ending at all either.
I love the ending.
You're silly.
I love the idea that we think he's going to try to change the time back and stop essentially the black hole from sucking up everything that should be changed.
How are we going to change?
See?
I'm not going to argue with you.
I think you're getting a nosebleed right now.
Yeah. You're giving me a fucking aneurysm with what you're doing.
It's all right, man. It's all right.
Whatever.
It's good for you.
Continue, please.
I'd like to continue right now, but I'm looking at my well-thought-out notes, and I don't have a whole hell of a lot more on these notes.
Did you hear about the Jay-Z music service thing?
I did.
What'd you think about that?
I think it's kind of funny. Derek, you might kind of have somewhat of an insight on this. Not so much that you know about Jay-Z starting a music streaming service called Tidal. But
never,
what do you think?
Heard that.
Like right now, you know about Spotify, you know about these different streaming services that are paying artists very little money for each spin that they hear, that somebody like on their laptop, they go ahead and press, I want to hear a Great White song.
Real quick before you answer that.
Please.
And just give me a very short answer on this one, if you could. What are your thoughts on Spotify?
I don't really have any.
Okay.
I haven't looked into it too much.
It's okay.
Seriously.
Okay.
I
That's cool. That's
I haven't.
Yeah, this is.
I learn about laptops, cell phones, something new every day when it comes to technology. I'm still kind of old school, but I still learn about,
So essentially, you have these services. Do you know about Pandora? Wow.
Pandora.
Pandora.
Yeah,
and
Pandora. That was pretty cool. It's like Pantera and Pandora at the same time. But you know about stuff like this. So this is an extension of that.
Streaming.
So,
okay.
It's a lot easier to get, and you can pretty much any artist you want to hear, you hear, and then every time you spin that, the artist gets a small cut of that.
That's very small cut.
But it's very small, so there's a lot of contention between the artist and that
Why
service.
am I not surprised about artists
I
not
think
getting
that's
paid what they should be getting paid?
Now, should the artist?
Oh,
and
believe
I'm
me, I know
sorry,
all
I'm
about
totally
that.
sorry about this, but now I want to get your input. Should the artist be pissed off at the service or be pissed off at the label for making the deal?
Probably both. I'd be
But
pissed off at both.
Why? But why should a streaming service get basically shit on for something they're trying to get they're trying to pay as low as minimal as possible.
Business. Yeah, true.
But
The
shouldn't the label be responsible and look after their
And
artists and
take
say
care of the artists.
exactly? So, to me, anyway, I'm just giving my 2 cents. To me, it's the artist should be pissed off at the label.
Yeah,
and we have a friend.
Because the label should take care of the artist.
Exactly.
Right.
We have a mutual friend who posts about this all the time, and I like the guy so much. I don't want to tell him, dude, be pissed off at your fucking label.
Yeah.
Don't be pissed off at the service. Be pissed off at the label.
The service is going to get it for as cheap as they can get it.
Exactly, but that's
about money.
business.
That's all it is.
But not just about money, but that's just how business is.
They-
You want to go shopping and you want to get the best deal on your clothes or your laptop or mixer or whatever. Why should why
People are mad at Spotify and services like that because they came in after the body was already floating in the water. So what they did is they saw that the labels were gonna fuck with the artists, and they're like, oh, wait a second, we're gonna come in here and we're gonna try to grab that extra money sitting around, even if it's 3 cents on every song. We're gonna grab that, and that's what happened. And so immediately after 20 years of an artist arguing with a label, now you have somebody new that's really cut and dry what they're doing. They're coming in there and they're ambulance chasers, and they're doing that, they're pulling that, and that's why it's easy to
I
go
wouldn't
after
go that
this.
far as
I think
call
it
them
is. I think they're
ambulance
ambulance.
chasers.
I absolutely do.
Ambulance chasers.
I
don't
do.
know about that, man.
The labels and the artists and what's happened in the last 15, 20 years, they came in after that.
Well,
that's ambulance chasing.
again, to me anyway, that belongs. That you can put the artist can put the blame on the label for not.
And I'm agreeing with that.
for-
I'm just saying that
okay.
the ambulance chasers are easy to go after because it's really cut
They're
and
just
dry.
looking for a good deal, man. You can't blame
That's
you
an
can't
ambulance
blame,
chaser.
You can't blame them for looking for a good deal. You know.
Yeah. But,
So-
so anyways, going back to what we're
Yes.
talking about, Jay-Z. So you have a weird thing. So, Jay-Z, he's one of the most popular and successful artists of our time.
Him and his wife.
Exactly. So you put Jay-Z and Beyonce together.
Isn't it sickening? Isn't
And
it?
they're zillionaires.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
I
something that really pissed me off, just throw it in there. They had a video about 2 weeks ago of Beyonce throwing a, I think it was about $100,000 bottle of champagne into a hot tub and laughing about it. I wanted to go through the computer and just
there was a big
throttle her.
backlash against her, and her fans were like, "You're pissing away my college fund.
Exactly.
Like,
Can
I
you
could
imagine?
use that money
Can you
to
imagine?
pay for my college. More, you could pay for 2, 3. Like there was a lot of her
They
fans
do
were
that
like,
because they can.
yeah,
And that's just sickening
to
these
it.
days.
I know.
And so now you have her husband that runs this Tidal music thing, and they unveiled it about 5 months ago, and they had all these popular R&B artists up on stage saying, we're going to take care of you and us, so we're going to have our own music streaming service. So you had like Jay-Z, and you had Beyonce, and you had Nicki Minaj, and you had all these different big artists right now. Nobody trusts them. That's the thing. Nobody trusts them to trust those artists because they're zillionaires to take care of them when it comes to their music streaming service. So right now, if you go to iTunes and you look at, okay, who's number one when it comes to streaming, you'll see that maybe iTunes is number one, Spotify is number 2, Pandora is number 3, or Pantora, if you wish.
Slacker.
Slacker Radio.
Slack, okay.
The Tidal service is number 9. which in
Can
tech
you
speak is
even name
shit.
9 streaming services?
So by the time you get to 9, you're tired and you're asleep. So it just shows that even somebody with $1 zillion can't launch a streaming service. And again, the reason being is it's still too easy to get free music.
It is way too easy.
Yeah. You know?
Back to Spotify, they just released this survey or this report saying that rock and metal is not dead. It's the #1 searched genre of music on their site. Well, this is my theory to that. Spotify is based in, I think, Sweden or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
In Europe, metal is big. You know, it's big business over there in Europe. That's A. 2, the metal crowd is the crowd that will not buy records and albums and CDs.
They'll buy T-shirts.
But and Spotify has the free version. So they'll get the free version and listen to all.
I have the
music.
free version.
You have the. I actually paid. I paid for 3 accounts: 2 $10 accounts and then 1 99-cent account for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like I said, I'm a Spotify fan.
Me too.
But in the picture that Spotify posted, it was a picture of Taylor Swift with her eyes whited out.
Oh yeah, the metal eyes
and an upside down cross.
Yeah.
Now, if you remember, late last year, Taylor Swift pulled all of her music from Spotify, right? And she was getting a lot of shit because they were like, "Why are you pulling it from Spotify?" Oh, well, my fans, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. Well, you didn't pull your music from YouTube. You have a YouTube channel. You didn't pull it from there. Oh, well, I'll click buy.
Well, with somebody like Taylor Swift, I mean, that's you just explained it in a nutshell. When you have somebody that wants to hear the new, I'm trying to think of a band. If you want to hear the new Prodigy album, which is kind of a metal band, but it's more electronics, you might go to Spotify to hear it. Yeah. If you're a Taylor Swift fan, you're going to go to Walmart to grab it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And that's the difference. You're not going to go to Spotify. You're not necessarily technologically savvy enough to go to Spotify. I don't mean that in a bad way, but you're not. You're really not. And you can go to Walmart and get the album for $8.99, and you got it. So somebody's not going to go.
Yeah. I'm still old school.
I'm still old school, too. I love it.
I like buying CDs, especially
vinyl.
Well, that's why vinyl is such a big business. That's a whole other thing.
Yes, my very first piece of music media, was Kiss Alive 2 8-track that my dad gave me that used to be his. And that was the very first thing that I ever owned as far as music media.
I mean, who at this table just wore out the AC/DC Back in Black cassette?
Absolutely.
Over and over again.
All my cassettes.
Yeah. When that
Why
came out,
I didn't keep those.
Rewind,
But then you had your 8-tracks, and you're like, I want to hear Love Gun. Then you have to try to figure out, how do I get to Love Gun on the fucking 8-tracks? It's like, you remember those?
Oh, yeah.
You had like 5 tracks right there, and you had to go to one and then turn it over, and you're like, oh, I'm almost there.
I had Queen the Game on 8-track, and then I got it on cassette, which I love. That's my favorite Queen album is The Game.
That's a good album.
I think the
Dragon Attack.
Beastie Boys' License to Ill was the one that I wore out the most.
That's a pretty good album to wear out.
Yeah, so anything else?
I'm looking again. I'm going to my trusty notes, and I think the only thing that I think I haven't touched upon was, I think it's kind of funny actually, is and you might disagree, is that Tool, Maynard.
Ah, yes.
So Maynard just announced that he has a new hip, which just makes us all sound really old. And I think about all the times I've seen Tool play, and there's 2 things you can think of. One, Maynard never moved on stage because his hip hurt. Or the fact that he never moved made his hip go bad. He never moved.
I think the fact I think that had to do with him just because he has those quirky moves,
But he never moved. He never even turned around half the time.
But when he was hunched over like that, you're putting a lot of pressure on your hip, dude.
But that's what I mean.
That's what I'm
maybe
saying,
it's because
I
should have moved on stage all these years.
He should have fucking moved. I bet you he moves now.
Mick Mars is all pissed off. He's like, damn it. He's like, I try to move around. I can't do shit. This guy stands.
One time I saw a guy here at the joint when, kind of different subject, a guy jumped on the stage during Motley Crue's residency, the last residency, and knocked Mick over. And
I heard about that.
And then knocked Mick over, over Vince.
Yeah,
or
like a
something
tree.
like that. Yeah. And Mick went, donk, just he couldn't move. What could he do?
Yeah, it's you see pictures. I hate. This is terrible, but it's like I seen pictures they had the everyone shows those pictures I spent $500 and I got my picture with Motley Crue, and you see like Tommy Lee way over there, and you see Nikki like holding on to him like this, and then you see Mick just stand there like 4 feet tall, just sitting there like this in the corner. It is the most sad thing.
Mick, look up. Mick, look up.
It's just I hate seeing that, but yeah, what can you do? So yeah, Maynard has a new hit, so you should be hearing a new Tool album any minute now.
Finally.
But Derek, do you have anything that you want to
promote or talk about?
Talk about? We've already talked. We talked about some cool stuff.
Gigs are coming up. Let me see the next gigs with the. I touched on.
I know you're not a singer. You're a drummer.
Yes.
So you're probably not
I'm
used
thinking
to
that it can pick me up. Usually, most of the time have a projected voice, but I'm trying to sing what I hear. Okay, so right here I am. Right
you're
here.
Cool. Yeah.
Check 1, 2.
Anyway, gigs.
I think we touched on the Shadow of a King gig. During that thing, I'll touch on a couple of things here. We're going to be doing a video of American Trilogy, which some of that supports the troops. The proceeds from that, because they do a Rockin' for the Warriors thing. And that's a video that's going to be coming out. And then I just got the shows coming up back east with the Super Troop gig. That's Canada, Toronto at the Rock Pile. But I know it's the first week of August. And then somewhere in Rhode Island playing there. And Massachusetts and somewhere else.
I hear Rhode Island. Who is it? What's that state that's way up there in the corner?
Maine.
Is it Maine? I heard Maine has the best water ever. Like, that's my thing. I just drink a lot of water. I don't know why I thought about that right now.
Hit Google right now. Oh, Alaska.
Alaska?
Alaska.
That's not what I heard.
Oh, you can drink from your sewer in Alaska. It's that pure, man.
There's nobody out there. There's nobody out there to put sewage in.
It's pretty few and far between.
My sister lived in Alaska, so I know.
So you drank the water.
It's kind of nice out there.
Yeah, it makes this weird.
Yeah. So anything else?
I think that's about it. I think I've answered questions. I think that's all
Did you at least have some fun today?
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Anytime the door is welcome. The door's open all the time.
The door here in PT's is always open?
I think it's 24 hours. So, yeah, I mean, that's literally
24 hours.
Whether we're here or not is another story.
Mex's door at his house is usually unlocked. So anytime.
PT's are always fun.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you for coming out. And
thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. You're welcome.
And
thank you.
We'll see. Hopefully, some of those shows get Vegas dates soon.
Yes.
So, anything else?
I just I'd like to put special emphasis on everybody going out and seeing Screaming for Silence at Vamped on the 10th. I really want you to see them.
Local bands. Go out and
please do local and traveling bands.
Whether it's in Boston, in Austin, in Houston, in
Vegas.
Seattle, in Vegas, wherever.
Anchorage,
Alaska.
Please support.
California.
Where's that again?
California.
Okay, Arnold. All right, man.
All right. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye-bye.